All right, everybody, welcome back to Lucksack Live. We got the star of the show here, Ross Merriam, just being the prime Lucksack here.
As long as I'm the star.
Yeah, you're the star. I'm Corey Baumeister. As always, we are presented by StarCityGames.com and Carnox Chair. So head over to Carnox.com/SCG Tour. And maybe that chair will be lucky enough that Ross is sitting in right now. You might transfer that kind of luck over, and just when you need it, top deck everything you need. It's just great.
It might be the chair. It might be me.
Might be the skill. Might be the commitment.
You'll never know unless you buy a Carnox chair and test it out.
That's true. Got him. Nice work. Okay, so
we got Rob in the booth.
Yeah.
Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Rob will be taking all your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure you tag at Star City Games so he can see them. Send his favorites over to us.
I already got burned though, so please leave me out of the burns, because that was a blazing top deck. Be like, this game's really close. Corey's definitely favored. Yeah. Okay, 13 power, destroy your whole board, destroy your hand. Your turn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We were talking during that segment about how green was just getting everything. I didn't realize green had the best burn spells too, but apparently they do.
Yeah.
All the best burn. I can do this for an hour.
Moving on. I'll wait. I'll wait till you're done. Moving on here, we're going to be playing our third and final round for the marbles, since I did take down round one. And then round two, I don't really remember what happened. I kind of blanked it out a little bit.
Yeah, I cast Thought Erasure a lot.
Yeah, my thought was erased. So what we're going to be playing round three here, I got Bant Company, something that I do think is going to stand the test of the time of the Bants. Not necessarily Bant Company. I don't know, or Bant Spirits, excuse me. Did I say Bant Company?
You said Bant Company, but it is Bant Company. But this one is with a Spirit Tribal theme.
It is with the Spirit Tribal, and there's Bant Humans, there's Bant Spirits, and then there's just Bant Company. I do think the more superior deck is just Bant Company, just play the good cards. But the synergies, when they actually start to work and they start to snowball, they become incredibly powerful. And this deck's not any different than that.
Yeah. I think the more like creature combat oriented the format is, the better the Spirits version gets.
Yeah.
You have all these lords, your creatures get really big, and you have flying, so like you're able to control combat really well with this deck. But you're a little bit more vulnerable to people just pointing removal spells to your creatures because they're not as individually powerful.
Because we do have spell or Selfless Spirit is one card that doesn't get played.
So you do have tools there.
Yeah.
But if they just start early and you never really get everything together, then your individual cards aren't as powerful.
Yeah, and one card that I'm actually really afraid of, which is going to be a problem in this matchup, is Walking Ballista, because Walking Ballista has always been a card that has made spirits, shiver, and I mean the whole reason we saw Bant Spirits, maybe even without Collected Company, go away was because of you a long time ago when you played Is It Phoenix and popularized that with Gut Shot. That kind of forced the deck out of the metagame. Yeah. You just Halloween was last Thursday, dude. Did you miss the memo? I mean, you could have been a cowboy there, but
Nope.
So we'll see about that. What do you I know I preluded a little bit to what you were playing, but what do you got?
Yeah, this is Hardened Scales, another deck that utilizes Walking Ballista very well. We saw a lot of Ballista in the last couple of weeks of the format. I guess now we'll see how much of that was this is one of the best ways to preemptively stop the Saheeli combo, or is this just a really powerful card?
Yeah.
We know both are true, but we don't know, was it 60% A, 40% B, 80-20, 40-60, and we'll figure that out. Walking Ballista is still a really good card and incredibly powerful in the Scales deck with Scales and Winding Constrictor.
Oh yeah,
also with Nissa.
Yeah.
This is the list that won the Nerd Rage Gaming event this past weekend and made one interesting swap that I actually really like. You see 0 copies of Steel Overseer in this deck, which is something a lot of other lists had. A lot of artifact creatures.
I like that card.
It's just a really slow, kind of mopey card. Just dies to everything. Instead, you see a more aggressive Bent here. 4 copies of Pelt Collector, 4 copies of Experiment 1. And 4 copies of Stonecoil Serpent. So you have 8 creatures that you can play on turn 1 just to get the ball rolling. And that really helps this deck out because you want to be, with Nissa especially, you want to be putting counters on as many creatures as possible.
Yeah.
If you go turn 1 Pelt Collector, turn 2 Winding Constrictor, now I've got a 3/3. Turn 3 Nissa minus, you've got a 5/5 and a 4/5 attacking on turn 3.
Yeah.
And that's that's just a 1-2-3 curve. You're attacking for 9 on turn 3. So I really like that more aggressive bent to it. I like the lower curve, get on the battlefield quickly, and I really like Stone Coil Serpent as a card. It's impressed me a lot in the Is It and Soul deck. It dodges Abrupt Decay. It doesn't get bounced by Teferi. It scales well. This is a deck that and I don't mean plays well with Hardened scales, which is also true.
I was gonna make a scales pun. Yeah,
but with this deck, you want a really low curve so you can get a lot of creatures on the battlefield, maximize your Nissas. But when that happens, sometimes, you stumble, your opponent has a lot of good early disruption, and then it's turn 4 or 5, and you got all this mana, and you're drawing 1-drops. When you draw Stone Coil Serpent, now it's 5/5, with Trample and Reach, and literally no one remembers that this card has Reach because it makes no sense. It's a snake. It doesn't even have legs. Somehow has Reach. I don't know how that works. Somebody tell me in the chat, but it does, and I've eaten a Judge's Familiar. I've eaten...
Snakes on a Plane. Haven't you seen the movie?
I have not.
Okay. Good call.
But what a surprise.
Yeah. I have been eating creatures in combat with this card because nobody remembers it as Reach.
Yeah.
So just a card I've been really impressed with. The Trample helps you, attack opposing planeswalkers. It doesn't get targeted by Oko, although it would be okay if it got targeted by Oko.
Yeah.
But not getting targeted by Teferi is big. I think this is a really good build of the deck. I was pretty skeptical of the archetype, but this build looks really good to me.
It does look really cool to me, I have to say. And this is something I've loved in the past, but it doesn't gain any real new toys, But we've talked about this extensively. I'm kind of playing a downgraded modern deck or an upgraded standard deck, however way you want to look at it. I'm that middle ground, You're playing a definite fusion of a deck. Like, of course, there were Hardened Scales, but there was like Affinity Hardened Scales deck, so it's probably worse than that. And then there was like Winding Constrictor Nissa decks in standard. You're fusing them, and you're making something that isn't necessarily an upgraded standard deck or a downgraded thing. It's a new deck. It's a new shell in a sense.
It definitely operates
really
differently than the old standard deck because that was more of just a Golgari, mid-range aggressive deck.
Yeah.
That happened to be able to utilize Winding Constrictor as a powerful card.
Yeah.
This deck is really built around abusing those synergies to the max, but it's not really like the modern deck, like you said, because that deck was more combo killing you on it's trying to kill you on turn 3, maybe turn 4. This deck's not quite as fast. It's definitely more of an aggro deck, but it's one that's heavily reliant on the synergies.
Cool. This is going to be a good match. I really, I don't know necessarily who's favored. I just think it's going to be a really close one. So we'll look at my hand. Nothing, insane, but we're definitely going to keep this. We do some things.
My hand's pretty good.
And pretty good. Pretty good.
So my two favorite explanations from chat for the Reach on the snake. Hesteus says clearly it's a spitting cobra. That just makes sense.
Fair. Yeah.
My favorite one is somebody said it climbs trees.
Both very accurate. I like the snakes on the plane better, but whatever.
You can go. I'm not buying either.
All right. Well, now we have two options, and I just want to be very mindful of Walking Ballista here. So I'm going to play the safer one in the face of that and just play this and pass.
A very wise decision.
Why, thank
young Corey.
Why, thank you.
I will be playing a Hangerback Walker X equals 1.
Okay. Oh, he said X equals 1, though.
Perhaps you have not read Hardened Scale.
Somebody throws the snakes.
Huh? Someone throws the snakes? That is just a very mean thing to be doing. All right, I'll attack you for 1.
That will put me to 19.
And then just a land tap and pass to you. That's why we didn't lead with Selfless Spirit. It would just been absolutely gobbled up by a Walking Ballista. Okay. I'm terrified.
I will play an X equals 2 Stone Coil Serpent.
Okay.
That then becomes a 4/4 pro multicolor with Reach.
Yeah.
That seems good against spirits.
That does seem pretty good.
I don't think I want to make this trade, so I'll just pass the turn.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be...
I probably should have. I would have been happy making the trade before committing to this, actually.
4/4 Reach, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well... I think we just want to play I wish we could play something, but unfortunately we just have to take 2 and just say go. I mean, I need to bluff something just in case, but I just got to say go here. There's such bad draws,
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. I just got to say go. I wish I had a play here. It seems like a great turn for a play, but
Yeah.
just going to have to ship it back.
Maybe keep your own Stone Cold Serpent.
Yeah.
I will play a Stone Cold Serpent X equals 2.
Think we gotta try to do something about this. I was lying the whole time. I had a collected company.
God. And you think I'm the horrible person.
Okay, we're looking for a Spell Queller here. Spell Queller is quite good against Serpent.
Yeah. Quite good against my deck. I got a lot of X spells to target.
Okay, we're gonna pick collected company for 1. All right, so definitely gonna get this. And now we have a choice between a card that gets us some card advantage or just a very medium creature. So I think it's pretty safe, just the card that gives us card advantage. So we'll go like this.
Okay, so I'm going to have a 4/4.
Yep.
I am then going to shock to 17.
Okay.
I will play a 1/1 Walking Ballista. So over 3
Didn't
counters.
Didn't want that.
Well, all your creatures are pretty big.
Yeah,
so,
but it's still a problem.
and then I will pass the turn. We're going to hide behind these Stone Coil Serpents for a little bit.
They are quite good. All right. Well, we're for sure going to play this. Sure going to play Selfless Spirit. Okay, so these are just 3/3s. This is big enough to attack through. Well, what all can we do? All right, we're going to take 2 and play another Eagle.
Jesus. So that's going to put you to 16.
Yep. All right. Now I'm going to declare attacks.
Yep.
So this can't really get in there just because it can actually die in combat if you double block. So this is a 4/4, so this could trade. It's a 5/4. And we could even attack with this. You could double block it and get... Is it protection, right?
Yeah, it's protection for multiple.
Okay. Well, I think maybe we just want to really get busy here. All right, let's try it.
So this is a 3/5.
Yep.
And this is a 5/4.
Yep. 4/4.
And then a 4/5 with the Eagle. So I don't think I want to double block the Eagle because I will just end up just trading for the Selfless Spirit, and then I'll take a ton of damage.
Yeah.
I do think I need to make 2 blocks. And if I'm going to make 2 blocks, then... I mean, this is still basically just trading Stone Coil Serpent for Selfless Spirit, but it's doing it in a way that prevents an extra 3 points. So... yeah, I think that's the best block I'm going to make.
I will sack this.
Yep. So I lose a Serpent.
Yep.
And I take 8.
8. Yep.
Brings me to 9.
And people are going to ask why did I sack the Selfless Spirit? So if I didn't, this would have 4 damage on it, and then just 1 counter from Ballista.
Yeah, you got to do it before damage.
Have to do it before damage. So, all right, pass to you.
Wisely seeing that. And now I'm in a bit of trouble.
I'm still very scared.
No, I think I'm just going to be dead.
I'll take that.
Um...
Imagine if your little snake on a plane there didn't have reach. You'd have been so dead. Oops.
Just had enough lore. I kept trying to set up a big turn, and you were always 1 lord ahead. Every time before I got broken up, 1 lord ahead.
That is the one good benefit of the Bant Spirits thing, is like the Bant Humans has Thalia's Lieutenant, as it's like one major big Anthem effect, and then Bant Company really doesn't have it. They just want to overpower you with good cards and get value.
So I have Nissa minus, which
Okay.
looks good. This is going to go up to a 7,
good.
and then this is going to go up to a 6.
Okay.
Problem is, I need to use basically all of them to deal with this second Selfless Spirit. It was you literally just had all Lords and Selfless Spirits, so that was like this is like the second Selfless Spirit, the third Lord, being able to start on the Phantom on turn 2. Otherwise, like if you started on Selfless Spirit, I had Scales into Ballista to steal Selfless Spirit, and the game is pretty
And I
much
did
over.
have that. That was my option.
Yeah. So now, these are 4s. This is a 4. This is a 3, and this is a 5.
Yep.
And I'm at 9. So I need to somehow deal with 2 of your creatures with this Ballista, and I just don't think that's possible.
I don't think it is either.
Because if I go, I guess no, it is right. So this is but this is 5 toughness.
Yep.
Yeah. So if I
all the Lords are 5 toughness.
But if I go to kill this, then you can defend it, but I can deal a 6 point.
Yeah.
So I can and that'll deal with both, which is great for me.
Yeah.
So you just don't defend it and you lose this, but then losing the Lord means 1 block is good enough, right? I block the Selfless Spirit, and then this is 2, this is 3, and this is 3, and I survive at 1. So I just go after an Eagle.
Okay.
And I want to do that now. So remove 1, remove 1, remove 1, remove 1. Remove for the 5th.
So I couldn't make you trade Ballista here, but then I lose another flyer. Okay.
And I think I will just get in. Attack you for 6.
Okay.
10.
Down to 10.
Now I'm threatening lethal next turn. You can go.
Okay.
It's a precarious spot, but it's a spot.
It's got to be pretty solid. Let's see. So yeah, if I attack with everything, you block 1.
You were just dead.
But
Why am I so like?
You had me dead?
You had one blocker, right?
Yeah.
What happens if I just attack with all my creatures? Well, this is a 6/6.
I blocked this. 7.
You were at 16. That's 18.
Well, too bad you didn't do that.
How did I not just attack with my creatures?
Too bad you didn't do that. No takesies backsies after your top deck from me last game.
Oh my god. You were just dead. So that's actually an issue I find in my play is I get into like either a defensive mindset or an offensive mindset,
And you
then I
can't
don't
switch.
reassess.
That is a really tough thing to do.
I could have just killed him.
I mean, you're probably still going to be fine.
Injury. Chat did notice that immediately.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
All right. Well, we have a Reflector Mage. Now, what do we want to use it on? We could do it on Ballista. Then you could like sack deal to the face. I don't think I care about that. So yeah, we'll do it to Ballista. I just don't want you casting another one.
And I don't think this game is going 2 more. Like this game's not going 2 more turns.
Yeah.
Right. Like what can I draw now that I've punted this game away? So if
we can draw a Walking Ballista if you sack the Walking Ballista.
Yeah, which I think it's my best draw anyway.
Yeah.
So I think I'll just ping you for 1.
Okay, down to 9.
So now the ability doesn't resolve, so I can cast a top deck Ballista if I do it.
All right, so I want to put myself in a position where I can leave back the most, but still threaten lethal next turn. So if I attack with everything, you block this. You take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You go to 2, and then that's like my only way to kill you next turn. So I think I just have to get in there with everything. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I guess I could block. I'm not sure if I block Selfless Spirit, then I'm taking 3, 4, 5, 8.
8. Yep.
I'm going to 1.
Yep.
This is if I block this, I take 9. This is 4. This is 2, and this is 3.
I almost had you.
Yeah, it's a line to me.
No,
So I have to.
Yeah.
I have to block this. I was like, I did this math before, and I was going to 1. I can't believe I'm going to 2.
Mhm.
So we'll block the Selfless Spirit and go to 1.
Go to 1.
And now I can draw.
Go.
Okay, Copter is fine because that's still only 3 power blocking. So if I draw another Nissa, you die too.
Yeah.
because you have to block here, and this becomes
Oh,
a
this
10.
thing is trample, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
but you would block here and just take 10.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Or if I draw a Ballista,
There's
I win.
probably Rishkar in the deck too, right?
Yeah, there's Rishkar, Ballista, or
Nissa.
Nissa. Winding Constrictor is not it.
All right.
Well, punted game 1.
Punted game 1. Yeah, but holy, those are tough games. And honestly, Hardened Scales has always been one of those decks that is really, really tough because there's so much to keep track of. But yeah, you can just win out of nowhere with a Ballista. Yeah.
It's also one of those decks that you have to be aware of. Like, yeah, you can win out of nowhere. So,
I think a good lesson to learn about this deck is like, even if you're in defense, is just start every turn, just do a lethal check. I mean, because that's one deck out of nowhere you can just go crazy. I didn't see it either, though. I really didn't see that I was dead either. Otherwise, I obviously wouldn't have attacked with everything,
I bet chat first is going like, oh, Corey, what an idiot. Left himself dead on board. Although I guess you didn't know the Nissa was there.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So maybe it's like a risk you would have to take.
Yeah.
Corey left himself dead to Ross's Nissa. And then I'm just like, oh, so I got a block like this. I think I'm still dead. I'm surprised I doesn't see it. Why are we watching these two?
Oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Well, do we got any questions here? Or, I mean, any burns for at this point?
This is a very burn-heavy day.
Yeah.
We've got 2 here. So, first, have you seen the possibility Borgmos enter the infinite combo deck in this format?
I have seen this deck.
Have you? Educate us.
So, have we brought Possibility Storm onto the screen? Can we do that?
We can definitely do that.
So it's an enchantment with a lot of text.
Okay.
But it basically just turns every spell you cast into a random spell off the top of your library of the same type. And so you play it alongside the adventure creatures, where you can play the adventure half, but still have all creatures in your deck. And then you have 1 Enter the Infinite as a sorcery. So you cast like whatever, like the green one that like has a sorcery that makes a mana of any color.
Okay.
So you cast that. Instead, that card gets exiled, and you reveal cards from the top until you hit the Enter the Infinite. So then you just draw your deck. Then you have to put a card back. You put Borborygmos Enraged on the top of your library, and then you cast a 0 mana creature. You have like Walking Ballista in your deck. So you cast that for 0. That trigger the Possibility Storm again. Instead, you get a Borborygmos. Then you discard all the lands that you've drawn to kill them.
Oh, seems pretty standard.
Yeah.
Just as Richard Garfield intended.
So it's the rest of your deck is like more adventure creatures. I'm sure you play like Bonecrusher Giant or whatever. I'm not sure if there's an instant. There's probably some other instance in the deck, but like
you
can play this like mid-range plan with your mediocre
like Murderous
creatures.
Riders and stuff like that.
It's red green.
It's just red green.
And you play mana creatures to accelerate it. But you just cast this like 5 mana enchantment and try to win immediately. Once you get to 6 mana, you can obviously do both in one turn.
Yeah,
which is nice.
That seems pretty wild.
Possibility Storm does run into an issue against Teferi Time Raveler because you can't cast the spell with the Possibility Storm trigger on the stack.
Yeah.
So you just lock everybody out of the game, I think. And I like there's some weird interaction there.
I think it locks you out of the game because you can still cast instance.
Yeah.
Possibility Storm doesn't it do it doesn't to both players.
No. Yeah, you lock your opponent out. You don't lock yourself.
Oh, but if your opponent has Teferi when they're playing against you, it's still a problem. That you're locked out of the game.
Yeah.
So you gotta get Teferis off the battlefield. A little weakness there, but it's a cool little combo deck. Has like this weird like red green beatdown backup plan.
Seems like the obvious sideboard slot of 4 Fry is where you begin.
Yeah. Fry's good against Teferi, so I could definitely see that.
Okay, you got one more question while we get ready for our second game here? Yeah. I think we can do 2 pre-board with this one. Yeah.
What do you feel is the best 3 mana Teferi shell now that the Saheeli combo's gone?
Well, now that Possibility Storm is becoming tier 1, of course, we need to be finding Teferi decks. But you
unplayable before Possibility Storm, but
of course. No, and Ross was talking about this a little bit earlier, but I really like Gilded Goose, even Llanowar, because you can go Temple Garden, Llanowar, Hollowed Fountain, Teferi, or whatever. Like I kind of just like 8 1-drops, 4 Oko, 4 Teferi, and start from there. So I would assume Bant is going to be the best. It could be Bant Company. I could see, like, once again, you touched on not wanting too many Planeswalkers in your deck, but maybe you could just go 3 Teferi, 3 Oko, and 0 Dramoga's Command. Probably worse. Dramoga's Command has always been pretty good, but you know what? If you're seeing these kind of ramp style decks, It's not great, but Teferi's also not great against there. Anyways,
You can massage the numbers and make it work. You know, you go like
Exactly.
2 Teferi, 3 Oko, 2 Command. That's 7. 4 Company. That's 11. You play 21 lands because you get a bunch of mana creatures.
Yeah.
Then you have room for 28 creatures.
yeah.
You know,
Or just Teferi's in the board here and just swap them out versus whatever you think is better.
there's another issue here though, and that's Company works really well with mana creatures not only being able to cast it ahead of schedule, but because Company wants to be played alongside 3 mana creatures. So
Yeah.
you get the most mana out of your collected Company hits. You're already playing a bunch of 3-drops in these Planeswalkers. There's only so many more 3s you can add to the deck. You need
Yeah.
a good number of 2s. So you're messing with your curve even more playing more of these 3 mana Planeswalkers.
I agree. Yeah, maybe it's best just as like, can you imagine? I this is kind of off the wall and nothing is really established with this, but like a blue-white flash deck. Blue-white flash used to be pretty sweet. I don't know if the power's there anymore. If like ramp decks would always just go over the top, but if you play like Teferi, Smuggler's Copter, I don't know, maybe Archangel Avacyn. I mean, once again, this is just a standard deck that we're trying to make upgrades.
But it's nice to when all your stuff is flash and now your opponent has to play into it on their own turn.
Yeah.
No, that's nice. So that could be a good shell for Teferi.
Maybe,
You've got Queller, Thraben Inspector, Toolcraft, and Smuggler's Copter.
Yeah.
That's a good start. You
I
get
mean,
a
let's
little
get real.
aggressive.
You remember the Jeskai Vehicles deck? That was nice.
Yeah, I like that deck too.
Yeah. Who knows, really? I really don't know the best Teferi shell. I mean, the Oko shells are a little bit more obvious because that card's really powerful. Like Teferi, in some matchups, it's just not good. And Teferi was a lot better at bouncing your Othanissas, replaying those. The best Teferi deck was Saheeli, by far. But yeah, now who knows? All right, what do you got?
I have another solid hand. I said that the first time though. and
Yeah, mine's okay as well.
I guess I should have won, so my hand wasn't good enough.
Your
to win.
hand was good enough, yeah. I'll keep this as well. It's not as strong.
Okay.
We are missing some things.
No
But...
scales in turn 1, but I have experiment 1.
Okay. All right, so we're going to take 2 and get our 1 drop. Your turn.
18. Okay. And I do have 2 scales on turn 2 though.
Oh, okay.
I do not want to
Can't
trade this
counter
as
that.
turn 1.
I'll block. All right, well, the scales are terrifying. Pump and get in there.
18 all.
Yep, your turn. Can't beat a walking ballista to save my life here.
Well, I have another experiment 1, which unfortunately doesn't pump these, but then I have a winding constructor. I'll take a point here. I'm at 17. So these are both going to evolve, getting 3 extra counters, so 4 each. So they're 5/5s.
Wow.
I'll attack for 5.
Okay. 13.
You can go.
Jesus. That's insane.
I just wish they were pelt collectors so they'd have trample.
All right. Well, I'm not really doing a great amount of blocking yet. I'm not dead next turn technically, so I guess we can
go to
still get
14.
in. Your turn. Or 15, right?
I
Or you
took
took
a
a
point
pain.
from the
Okay.
one voice. Well, unfortunately, I assume Corey has Queller here for my Nissa follow-up.
I do. So I'm not 100% dead, but pretty dang close.
But I will slam in with everything. Yeah,
Block
easy block
this,
there.
yeah.
You go to 3,
3.
pass the turn.
Yikes. We need a top deck. Ooh. Oh, no. It's so close. So close. All right. Well,
And these were going to be 9/9s, and this is going to be a 6/6. I was going to have 24 power attacking on turn 4.
no big deal. Yeah, that deck looks awesome. I am excited about that.
Yeah, the innovations of these to make it more of an aggressive deck,
Yeah.
I think, are really strong.
Now what do we want to do? What can we attack with? I can go like this and double block and sacrifice. Hope for the best there. Not much else I can do. Okay, we'll get in there for 2.
I'm at 12.
Your turn. Really need an untapped green stars for green cards, believe it
Yeah.
or not.
Who would have guessed? So if you have another Queller, you can... So you have to block both of these. So there's no danger of the Constrictor dying because you can't double block it. So
Yep.
yeah, let's get in with everybody. Send in the clowns.
Blocks, sack, indestructible.
Okay. I'm going to play this just because it makes effectively another lethal attacker. It might get quelled.
I'll quell it.
Yep. Pass the turn.
All right.
This could get dangerous. I guess your 2 lords will kill me.
Well,
Could steal this one. Yeah, definitely Coco.
We gotta
main phase.
try
If you
it,
get two
yeah.
lords, I die.
Corey, you're at 1, right?
He's at 3.
I went down to 1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you took 2. Go to 1.
I hit 3 lords. All right, well, this gets pumped.
Yeah,
what,
so now
to
that's a 5-5, and those are both 4s.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'll go for it. Wow.
Nothing I can do that game.
That was insane.
I believe this might be karma for that.
And I told you, like, this spirit deck does control combat very well. I needed one of these experiment ones to be a Pelt Collector and get a little trample in there. And
the best thing I was hoping for that I would say, I didn't do the initial math. I was checking it, as you said, lethal, so I just had to go for it. But what I was just hoping for was like a Reflector Mage and another blocker, to kind of stabilize a bit. I had 2 Rattle Change, but that wasn't going to be enough. And I had another Coco, but yeah, wow. A lot of damage out of nowhere. And one thing to note, against your non-Ballista draws, Selfless Spirit's amazing. But against your Ballista draws, it's terrible.
I mean, I had a Ballista draw in game 1, and it was still good because you had enough Lords.
But
Ballista's is great against your deck unless you have a bunch of Lords out.
Yeah.
So you really want to start on some.
But Selfless Spirit is great against your deck if you don't have Ballista. So it's kind of a weird
dichotomy.
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay, well we are going to head to the sideboard for a third game here and see what Ross can come up with to deal with these spirits. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome back to Versus Live. We are sideboarding in the matchup between Golgari's Hardened Scales and Bant Spirits. On my side, my sideboarding is motivated mainly by the fact that I just want to get Hangerback Walker out of my deck. If you can ever trade it off, it can be good in the matchup, but it's just so hard to trade off.
Yeah.
It's really vulnerable to, your interaction. So definitely a card I want to get out. Abrupt Decay is the obvious addition. Have some lords, maybe like just take on the biggest lord initially, and then it makes it a lot easier to clean up with Walking Ballista.
Oh, yeah.
Or like deal with the Selfless Spirit, on your turn, and then clear out everything. So just a little bit of removal, which is nice. I'm bringing in 2 Veil of Summer as my other sideboard card. It does not stop Spell Queller, which exiles the card, which is awkward, but it can stop things like Aether Gust and Deputy Detention, Reflector Mage, which is nice. And most of the time, it's just going to cycle. So I think it's going to be better than like Thoughtseize or Ooze, which are not cards I really want in the matchup.
Yeah.
And it's pretty high, it's high leverage. So like when it does stop a key trigger, it's going to be really, really good.
100%. And you don't know if I would be bringing in like some kind of counter spell or something like that. Like you never know. I mean, unlikely, but okay. So on my side, Aether Gust, Dramogus Command, and Deputy are all great. All super, very effective cards. Aether Gust can hit Scales, can hit Winding Constrictor. It's pretty solid on Certified. Dramogus Command's insane because you can start with Sack and Enchantment if you have a Scales, and that's already going to be worthwhile because it's the namesake of your deck. I mean, it's the most powerful card. And then if you can fight anything, put a counter on anything, it doesn't matter. Like if you can ever get a 2-for-1 with this, it's just going to be insane. And I think we all really remember how big of a pain it is to just play against Dramogus Command because you can do so many things in combat. This deck is no different. Deputy Detention also is really good at these X spells. I wasn't sure if you were going to take out Hangerback Walker, but it just seems insane. If I can clean up Pelt Collectors, experiment ones, like if I drew this after you just go Winding Constrictor Hardened Scale, I just take your experimental ones, you're just like, okay, good game, That's GG. Because even if you get it back, they're going to be 1/1s, so that would be quite strong, don't you think? You look like you're puzzled.
Why did I play double Scales on turn 2? I had the other experiment one. I just need somebody behind me to like hit me in the back of the head. I could have just played Scale Experiment 1 pass and then next turn going second Scale Constrictor, and then I just get to attack you for 10.
Isn't that what you did?
No, I only attacked you for 5.
Oh.
Because I only played the 1 Experiment 1 on turn. Like, what am I doing?
You're just really losing it this last match, huh?
I would have won both games.
Yeah. Hey, it happens. It happens. You'll get it together, buddy. Hey, at least you're not going to the Pro Tour this weekend. All right, well, Ross goes through his crisis over there. I'll continue saying what I took out here. Rattle Chains is just the most expensive X1. Selfless Spirit can have implications. Everything is contextual to you not drawing Ballista because all my cards are bad if you have Ballista. But if you don't, I want to maximize my chances of having good cards. And my, what's that card called? The 2/1. indestructible one. Selfless Spirit. My Selfless Spirit is great against your deck. I can just blank your combat step for one Selfless Spirit and actually kill some stuff of yours. I took out a couple Smuggler's Copter because I don't want to take out 6 creatures for 4 spells, and 2 creatures makes my companies work. And I just don't know if they're that good here anyway, so we'll take those out.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. All right. You're gonna.
It's not the best play match for my end.
Yeah, I mean, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I did not cut your deck very well for that Ugin play, so I got that to live with.
13 lands on the battlefield. I was gonna draw a spell a bit eventually.
Yeah.
I cast Once Upon a Time and bricked.
That's true. You were unlucky that game.
Granted, Once Upon a Time doesn't find Ugin.
Yeah. Top of the deck does. All right, do we got any questions over there, Rob?
Yeah, so if you're building Jeskai vehicles, what planeswalkers would you include, and what kind of numbers would you be looking at?
Well, first of all, you try to sneak an Oko, right? I mean, just why not? I saw a burn deck playing an Oko in the sideboard. A burn deck.
I had a one of Delver in the main deck too.
Yeah, it was like mono red, splash blue, but it had like Gemstone Cavern, 4 mana Confluence.
Well, it was actually Grixis because it had bump in
It was 5 color.
Yeah,
it had Atarka's Command, Boros Charm, Delver of Secrets, and bump.
Just something absurd.
It was
But anyways,
burn.
a real answer to that question, the Royal Scions is what you start with for sure, because going Heart of Kirin into Royal Scions, take 6 is so nice. And then just Teferi. I mean, I think it's just Royal Scion Teferi would be like my 7 to 8 slots for sure. And then you can think about Gideon, you can think about Chandra, but I think I would start with just the 3 mana ones and see from there and try to just be low to the ground. But
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this.
My hand here for the third game is pretty weak, I think. I don't have a scale in it, and I have 4 lands, which is a high count. I'm like, having a couple 2/2s and a removal spell is just not good enough.
And my hand's kind of the same as far as power level. Like, this just isn't enough. I don't even have green to cast Dromoka's Command, so we're going to ship this one back as well. All right, let's get another question if you got one, Rob.
I've got a burn.
Oh, yeah, please.
Jay says, well, from those plays, we can see why Ross isn't going to the MC.
Oh, ouch. I guess I did kind of soft pitch chat with that MC comment.
That's a nice way to do it. You don't want to burn the other person. You got to set up chat to do it for you.
I know. That would just be mean. We're friends. I'm not just going to burn you. Yeah.
So you 1996 wants to know, what do you think of God Pharaoh's Gift in this format?
I mean, once again, God Pharaoh's Gift was another deck that was heavily held back by both Devotion going over the top of it and by Cat. All of that being said, I still don't think the deck's very good.
Yeah, I think that deck's going to end up being just too slow.
Yeah.
And there's good graveyard hate in the format, so you've got to deal with that post board.
Yeah. Remember when God Pharaoh's Gift was good in Standard? It was only because, the other best deck was Red-Black Aggro, which ended up still beating it. But, they were playing creatures constantly. So if you ever got Angel of Invention back on turn 4, your nut draw, you won. They didn't have good graveyard. They had ways to deal with it on site, but then you'd have to deal with every creature like that. I just don't think that's where we're at. Think about this Hardened Scales deck against God's Pharaoh's Gift. You're dead before you get that combo going, I don't know. Maybe a Jeskai, God Pharaoh's Gift, where you can play Deafening Clarion to interact early, but I wouldn't be a big believer.
Okay, bit of an awkward second hand for me here, but it's a keep. It's a risky one, but I've got stuff to do even if I miss, and if I hit, the hand is great.
Okay, this is a definite keep as well for us. Now, as far as what to bring back, I'm either thinking if we can look at my hand, I don't want to give away this because it does pertain. I either want to put back one of these 2 cards here, and I think I want it to be Aether Gust because, just slowing you down when we're both mulligan, I don't think is going to be good enough here. It's a contextual card to your hand as well, so I think I just want to go with the creatures here.
Okay, Forest Pelt Collector.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, our mana base is a little unfortunate, so we're just going to go Temple Garden and pass.
I am the best in the world.
I don't know if the last 2 games agree with that.
Attack for 3.
17. Now I'm kind of regretting this Aether Gust choice, but...
just needed a black source.
Impressive.
Flipped it off the top.
Impressive. All right, your turn. I feel terrified.
You should be. Ooh. I am going to. Oh no. So I can be weak to an eagle or to a spell queller. I think if you had a Supreme Phantom, you'd have certainly cast it that turn instead of the Wanderer.
That's a fact.
I guess I could just slam this and get aggressive. That's a pretty big attack. Actually puts lethal next turn.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Even though it makes the cards in my hand not great. I will play
Rishkar kill you.
Anissa.
Oh,
I will minus it.
okay.
Got 2 more counters here. So now this is a 5/5 trample and a 4/5.
Really tough choice there, huh?
And attack you for 9.
Really tough choice to just slam the most powerful card you could possibly have.
You're
All right.
going to go to 8.
Yep.
You can go.
All right. I don't think I can possibly beat that. Well, 8, huh? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'll have to jump. Gross.
This deck seems good.
The deck does seem good, I have to say.
Granted, I'm curving out really well every game
Yeah.
and then punting.
And then bunting. Yeah, yeah. The deck looks powerful. Well, I just don't think we really have anything we can do. These creatures are just way too large. I really needed something like a deputy here. Or basically, I think I need to put myself in the best position to draw or a reflector mage would have been great here. I need to put myself in the best position to just draw a collected company and just kind of do something crazy next turn. And with that being the case, I think I need to leave this back to Chump, even though Nissa is just going to kind of get carried away. So yeah, we're just going to ship to you.
Okay. That's a neat one. I will plus Nissa, make a plant, get ourselves a Jeremy Knoll.
All right, Jeremy finally gets some camera time here.
Smash in.
Only block I have.
Take 5, go to 3.
Yep.
Don't think I want anything to get quelled. None of this is particularly relevant, so I'll just pass the turn.
Well.
Yep.
Okay. Don't think that's going to be enough. Don't think that'll do it. Yeah, I can't even put 2 blockers here just because Pelt Collector is so large here. All right, well, we're going to try this. We're going to go with an eagle. All right, so now we have 5 power here. I mean, we could like block Pelt Collector and trade for it, but you do have Nissa still, along with anything you can cast in hand. Yeah, we'll say go.
Experiment 1.
Yep.
Winding Constrictor.
Sure.
Trigger the evolve here for 3 counters.
Yeah.
Minus Nissa, 3 counters on all my other things.
Yeah. This deck's awesome. This deck is awesome.
Attack you for, what is this, 18?
I got a 1/1.
Okay.
Yep, you got this one. Well, you should have won all 3.
I
But
played this.
instead, I win the match.
I played this one appropriately.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
won easily. Huh.
Wow. Honestly, I'm very interested in this for the Invitational.
Yeah, I curved out every game. So you saw the deck at its best.
But the deck does, right? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, isn't just 1, 2s, and 3 drops? Like,
Yeah,
it's pretty much it.
It's unclear just
That's
how consistent the deck is. I think we saw like, is this close to what it does? Like,
Yeah.
on a consistent basis. If it is, this deck's great.
But I mean,
But, yeah.
it's such a pun, but the whole deck scales, right? Like you have all these X spells that are good on turn 2 with the scales. You know, I mean, they're not
Yeah.
as good on turn 2 without a scale, so that is a problem. But I don't know.
But we have 8 scales, so they're
Yeah.
a lot easier to find. Okay, does this deck want to play Once Upon a Time? So like you get these on turn 1? Because I want them on turn 1 a lot.
Once Upon a Time seems good, just because like searching for Ballista late game. But once again, this is a deck that does not want to be tapping its mana. So beyond the first Once Upon a Time, I think it's really bad. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know about that, but... And I also just don't know where you would put Room, because I love the 1-drops. The 1-drops are awesome. Those I think are really, really, really needed, as well as scales. The 2s, you definitely want that. Hangerback Walker, I don't know about.
Well,
I don't know.
we're playing a matchup where getting to the battlefield is really important.
Of course,
Hangerback's going to shine in removal-heavy matchups.
Yeah.
When decks have a bunch of abrupt decays for your scales and your winding constrictors and your synergies aren't coming together, that's when Hangerback's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. Hangerback against Sultai is insane.
So I think it's necessary for those matchups.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. That deck's sweet, though. I'm very interested in this. And I mean, I'm not going to take away from anything in this. I did some powerful things, right? Like, I mean, I had a lot of lords and stuff, but this is kind of your old, pretty standard Bant Spirit deck. And it does powerful things. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if this is better than... Actually, I'm pretty sure I do know. I think Bant Company is better. I'll say it. I think Jace. I think, max out on Spell Quellers. I think, even elf creatures, Goose into Oko that you get to play from the other side seems sweet, but maybe I'm wrong.
Honestly,
I
want to try out Company in different colors, because if I'm playing Bant, I want to be playing all the awesome Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
So I want to try out Company in a non-Bant shell, which is awkward because I really want to play Spell Queller.
Yeah. Sultai Company, can it work?
Well, then you're still an Oko deck, and like you
see this Jund Company deck.
Yeah,
I did too. That sounds pretty nice.
We could play like a Jund, like Aristocrat stack with Mayhem Devil, and like Company sets up all those synergies. You get Nantuka Husk.
Yeah.
I
don't like going heavy into the Aristocrat like Husk kind of plan, but I love just having like ovens there, and then Mayhem Devil is just a good creature already. Like I did see some Pioneer sacrifice deck that had some extra cool toys. I can't remember exactly the list off the top of my head, but I did see some food decks that were having some success. Yeah. But who knows if it's quite good enough. But
I'm still in brewing mode. But I agree with you. The Bant Planeswalkers are so powerful that I can't imagine wanting to go down.
I'm glad you're staying in brewing modes. I'm just going to play your 75 at the Invitational. I hope you know that. So
I mean, I was very doubtful of the scales decks, and I think the listed Steel Overseer and more artifact centric, not as good. Once you add Pelt Collector and Experiment 1 and get Overseer out of the deck, it looks good.
It looks good. It looks really good.
You saw how powerful it is to just be curving out. Just Experiment 1 into Constrictor.
Yeah.
You've got a 3/3 attacking on turn 2. That's above the curve in this format by quite a bit.
And then if you followed up with a Nissa, boom, you have a 5/5 Trampler. Pelt Collector. If you go Pelt Collector into that, then you have a 5/5 Trampler attacking on turn 3 and a 4/5. Plus a Planeswalker that's going to be giving you value.
It's a 1/2/3 curve that kills on turn 4.
And like, look at this.
Generating huge creatures too.
See, this is what I also love about it. The main deck, you want to be doing your thing, right? Like you can't put too much disruption in. But post board, you get this. You get Thoughtseize. You get one of the best cards against control.
You get Abrupt Decay.
You get Abrupt Decay, Assassin's Trophy, and Veil. Leyline, I'm unsure of. I mean, there's probably graveyard decks that are good against you, but I can't think of one. I can't think of a graveyard deck that's fast enough to keep a clock with you. So I think that's unneeded, in my opinion. But like Thoughtseize, Veil, Abrupt Decay, Assassin's Trophy. That is like a wide variety of things that deals with a lot of things. This is going to be one of those decks where you don't want to over sideboard because it is a core shell. If you take too much from it, you become a clunky Golgari deck that's not going to function as well.
You might need something for red decks in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a lot of life gain. They're a deck that can just race you. They can kill your Winding Constrictor.
Yeah.
They're not going to be as good against your Scales draws because they can't interact with the card Hardened Scales.
What would you recommend for that? I can't think of anything great.
I don't know. There's no what's the card? Spike Feeder would be the one you want.
Sure. But I mean, you could just
Spike Feeder minus my Nissa, put 3 counters on it, gate 8 live.
But maybe, just like Abrupt Decays and Fatal Pushes is enough. Like, I really don't think you need ley lines. It seems like every graveyard-centric matchup, you're faster than.
Yeah, graveyard, I agree. I think...
Could be that. This seems slow.
Yeah, though it does get really big when you have skills. You exile stuff, it gets 2 counters each time.
Now you figure out your deck's interactions.
You still only gain the 1 life, but... you're making big creatures. I think you're pretty good at stabilizing the battlefield.
Yeah.
So you're a little bit weak to just them burning you out. But you're making big creatures. You could just play Feed the Clan. Gain 10.
Ooh. That's interesting. Or what about... Is Pulse of Marasa legal?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. What about Pulse?
That one's a little expensive, but yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Because you can
if they're going to kill your stuff. Gain 6.
Brings... Yeah.
Maybe.
In like the removal heavy matchups, it'll buy back a scales.
Yeah.
So this deck looked really impressive. Me less so.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of time here. Do we have some questions we can take, Rob?
Yeah. What about Vivian Arcbow Ranger in this Hardened Scales deck? Do you think that's a real card?
It's definitely a powerful card in the shell.
Yeah.
It doesn't really. It's a little above the curve. I don't know exactly what the land count is here. I'm guessing it's about 20 to 22.
I could see a 2 of. Think about just having 2 scale effects and just targeting 2 different creatures, 4 mana, +6/+6. It's not going to have any outside implications, but
I could see it over Rishkar. It's a more powerful card. It does like the +1 is very similar to what Rishkar does.
I couldn't. I couldn't.
Why?
I think Rishkar is insane. Like I think that makes more of your draws busted where you go 1, 2, 3. I think if you go 1, 2, 3 against 90% of the metagame right now, you're going to win. If you play a 1-drop and you play a Constrictor or a Scales and a 1-drop or whatever into Rishka or Nissa, boom. I just think the game's over, but...
Yeah, so then you don't like Vivian because it's out of the deck's curve. You want to be 1, 2, 3 and do that as consistently as possible.
But power is cool too, so I could see like a 2 of in place of something, but it's like, what do you take out?
The cool thing with this deck too is that even the deck's set up to go 1, 2, 3 and it does it really consistently, but then it has a lot of things to do on 4. You can play a Ballista on 2, Hanger back on 2, use that mana. You can double spell, obviously. You can play Serpent, X equals 4, use all your mana. So the deck's not actually lacking for things to use its mana on late game. You have mana sinks.
Yeah.
So I like keeping the curve as tight as possible to maximize those nut draws. So that does squeeze Vivian out of the deck.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a good card in the deck.
It's definitely a consideration, and I mean it's worth testing. But
you also get a little interaction with the -3.
A little bit.
Maybe you can There's nothing in the main I would want to move to the sideboard to wish for. You're not like wishing for Ballista.
No.
In the main.
No. You wouldn't want to. You'd want to ignore the ultimate just completely and just think of it for its plus ability. But at that point, that is what Rishkar does: is puts 2 counters on things. It's a Rishkar's a once time activation of that. Nissa
comes with a 2/2 as well.
Yeah, so. Nissa sometimes does much more than 1 counter on each thing. So Rishkar and Nissa, in my opinion, are just better cards. But
you just want the immediate impact there to maximize those really explosive draws. And we saw 3 games in a row there. Even I got lucky in the one game where I drew the Black Source immediately.
Yeah, sure.
And curved out, but the first 2 games it was just had a good hand, curved out, should have won.
And I'm sure there's subsets of these games where you just don't draw perfectly and your deck looks miserable and you lose pretty badly. Those are going to happen. But I think, I think especially with the London Mulligan, you can craft pretty good hands and you can probably aggressively mulligan with this deck pretty well. All you need to do is have 1, 2, 3 or powerful 2, 3 follow-up play. That's still fine on the play as well. On the draw, maybe sometimes that doesn't work. But if you find basically any combination of 1, 2, 3, I think you're pretty good.
Yeah. Where there's a scale in there. Of note, this deck
a snake,
This deck is not this deck is not particularly good at evolving the 1-drops.
Yeah.
Without a scale.
Yeah.
Because
2 mana, 1/1 walking Ballista.
or Hanger back.
Yeah.
You can
Serpent
do it with Serpent, you can do it with Rishkar, and you can do it with Winding Constrictor.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And honestly, we're not even mentioning Serpent right now. I think Serpent is actively really good right now. The protection from multi, it's just a very good card. Yeah. And it synergizes with everything. And that is the one thing where if you don't have a good powerful 2, like Winding Constrictor or Hardened Scales, 1-drop or whatever, that on 2 is actually reasonable. If you go Pelt Collector or the experimental one, turn 2 Serpent, not great.
Yeah, but then turn 3 Nissa, maybe you make them both 3/3s. That's an okay draw.
That's a bad draw for the deck.
Yeah,
realistically,
it's a bad draw for the deck.
But it's reasonable. It's something that'll still beat some decks, and if you're on the draw, it's probably just too slow. But you know what? Pioneer is a powerful format, so I think you're okay with that being my bad draw, and maybe it doesn't get there, but maybe it does, and that's one of your weaker draws of it. So this deck excites me. It really does. Yeah.
We got time for what? One more?
Yeah, one more question. Yeah.
All right, so it seems like a lot of these decks are still being built as their old standard decks with some new cards. Do you think people are still haven't approached deck building the entirely the right way?
I don't think so. And that's nothing to fault people's deck building right now, because I'm not an expert deck builder. I know you have been really kind of going ham on Pioneer, and it's kind of your thing, kind of an older format like that. But it's not for everybody. Like for me, I really, really like the puzzles of solving standard formats where there's smaller card pools. You know what to deal with it. You know what you're playing against, and that's kind of my strength as far as a deck builder. Right now, this is a completely different thing. Like the start of Modern, the start of Extended, whatever, stuff like that. I'm sure there was some absurdly bad decks, but then you start to see a metagame. And that's where I strive. When I see a metagame, I know what kind of deck I want to build, and I can hone in on that. But I'm really bad at the big picture. And, you're kind of a big picture guy, and I don't think there's any problem with, being good at one or the other. Like, I'm waiting for a metagame to solidify, and then I'm going to hone in.
We're getting there with Pioneer, and now it's all up in the air again.
Yeah.
The one thing
I was just kidding. I knew what I was going to play. I had a deck list ready before this, but
the one thing I'll say about Pioneer deck building, and one thing I've noticed looking from the week 1 deck dump to the week 2 deck dump, and then some of the more successful decks, is that you're seeing decks that look like they're upgraded standard decks, but they're upgraded. A lot of them are upgraded in a very similar way, and that is tightening the curve. When people were building red decks in week 1, I saw a lot of main deck Hazarets. I saw a lot of Hordling Outbursts, cards that were really good in their standard versions of the deck when curves are a little bit more spread out. If you look at the red decks from last weekend, there were like 22 1-drops, 16 2-drops, and 1 Hazaret, and like 21 lands, something like that.
Yeah.
They're playing just all the good 1-drops. Give me my 8, 1/2 prowess creatures. Some people just stopped there initially. No. Give me my Gitu Lava Runners. Give me my Bomat Couriers. Give me my Shock and my Wild Slash. Give me my Wizard's Lightning if I have enough Wizards, or give me my Skewer if I want that. Give me my Light Up the Stage. All the ones.
Yes. And then go Eidolon or
Eidolon, Smuggler's Copter, and like Lightning Strike. Those are my 2s.
Yeah.
And then I have 1 Hazaret just in case I get there. And that's how you want to build decks. Like the 1-drops are powerful at 1 mana, and it makes your curves more consistent. You just double spell on turn 3. You just come out really fast. The mono blue devotion decks, back in standard, they used to play Biden of Thassa, Jace Architect of Thought in the main deck. The mono blue decks in this format, 4 master waves, everything else is 3 or less. We have more 1s and 2s. So focus on tightening your curves, have more 1 and 2 drops than you think, at least compared to where the old standard decks were. And I think you'll do better.
And honestly, I want to say one thing about that deck, that mono red deck that you were just describing. I played against it last night. I was definitely the bad guy last night. I played one last league with Felidar Guardian. Well, I got my last chance with it. I wept the entire time. I streamed it. I got some good and I got some bad reactions. Like, come on, dude, playing the Bant deck, really? But I went 4-1. I just really wanted to maybe be the last person to 5-0 a league with Felidar Guardian combo. I was 4-0. Played against that mono red deck, got ran over pretty bad. So, if it can beat the powerful banned deck, that kind of strategy is going to be something that's you're going to want to be prepared for and ready for.
So it's fine to upgrade your old standard decks, but upgrade them in the right way.
Yeah.
Add the more 1s and 2s, trim 3s and 4s, even if they were good ones. Only have the best 3s and 4s that were remaining, but have all the 1s and 2s that were good.
I love it. All right. Well, this was a really fun show. I guess we got 2 orders of business left. I think one of them. I don't feel good about it, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take those marbles from you. We play for keeps around here. If I make mistakes, I don't expect you to let me keep them. Not in a chance. So, all right, I'm gonna take these.
You can keep all of your mistakes. Keep them all the way over there.
Okay, sure. So I got the marbles. I'm gonna have them for Thursday. But let's also thank some of our subs there, Rob.
We got a few today. First up, Comrade Brain, Bad Juju Kid for 2 months in a row.
All right.
Hysteus for 8 months.
Gotta love Hysteus.
Driving Corvius, Wolfman 1776.
All right.
J Black Deegan, Team Plasma Gus, and Kelder. So thank you to all of our
Team Plasma Gus hangs out on my stream all the time. Is my homie. All right. Well, thank you to all the subs there. Appreciate all 7 of them or whatever. That is awesome. So Thursday we will be back. Normally we'd really want to showcase the Pro Tour format right now, but I think we're gonna save you guys from an Oko world right now. Unless we just want to. Should we just do all the variants of food? Just play them against each other? No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that to you. So we're going to be back with some more beautiful, beautiful Pioneer action. Let's play some decks that we really are considering playing for the Invitational next Thursday. Okay, let's really put some tryhards in. Let's tune some good decks, and we'll try to have a nice show. Okay,
let's do it.
All right, everybody. That is going to be it for me and Ross. This is an awesome Versus Live, and we'll see you all Thursday, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Bye bye.